I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Auto Club. Stephen Gibson, Jesse Gordon on the front row, Zach Henson, Richie Jomplin on the second. The Mark Nelson and Austin Ruskoff on the third, Rick Sargent and Philip Sanchez on the fourth row. Troy Downing and Nicole Creasel round out the top 10. Kyle Holden starts in 11th next to Stephen Hendren at 12th. Evan Drake starting in 13th, Mark Dantuma at 14th, Gus Moody in 15th, Donald Double D Durant in 16th, the return of Brian Oshimska in 17th, Matthew Leggett in 18th, and Roy Palmer rounding out the 19-car field here at Auto Club. All of the drivers getting stacked up on pit road, ready for the pace car to roll out. It does look like Roy Palmer and Matthew Leggett are not gridded. If they decide to race, they will have to start from pit road. Everybody rolls out. As always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for here tonight. First few laps on cold tires, we saw some really loose race cars on cold tires during practice. That first couple of laps could be interesting. All right, here we go, out of turn 4. The pace car is dropped in. Here they come. Green flag is in the air there, down and away at Auto Club. Everybody's side by side right from the get-go into turn 1. Nicole Creasel was having technical difficulties early on. Hopefully she has got everything figured out. She has dropped back to 11th. Brian Oshimska has dropped to the back. Haven't seen Brian in some time. Jesse Gordon is going to lead lap 1 behind him. It's a dogfight. Stephen Gibson in second, Richie right on his bumper. Austin Ruskoff on the high side and way up by the wall. Philip Sanchez, one of the rookies, on the attack. Evan Drake, another one of the rookies out here tonight. He is marching his way forward. Already up 6 spots. Hope these guys that are flying forward aren't using up their tires too early. Evan Drake, Mark Nelson right on the wall. Evan may have even given the wall a little kiss. Philip Sanchez now looks to the high side. Gibson is dropping back. And that time Sanchez did get the wall. Jesse Gordon just set the fastest lap so far out front. And already 3 wide through the turn. Kissing the wall a moment ago didn't bother Sanchez a dang bit. He is still moving up to 5th. Another one of the rookies here tonight, Gus Moody, in the 84 car, up 7 spots now into 8th. Man, they are using every inch of this track. I've never seen guys getting that close to the wall here. Philip Sanchez now getting a little bit lower. Evan Drake behind. Whoa, Sanchez got loose out of 2. Gets it gathered up, but drops back to 6th. Stephen Gibson, who started on the pole, back in 7th. Austin Ruskoff in 3rd. Just set the fastest lap so far. Lap times continuing to come down as Richie Joplin is looking for the lead. Austin is way loose out of 2. A lot of runoff on the back straightaway. He manages to save it. He did lose some momentum as Mark Nelson comes by. Evan Drake also up top. Meanwhile, Richie Joplin has the nose ahead. No, Jesse pulls back ahead and leads that lap. Troy Downing back behind in 9th, Stephen Hendren in 10th, Double D in 11th, Rick Sargent in 12th, Kyle Holden in 13th, Nicole with technical difficulties back in 14th, Mark Dantuma lurking in 15th, Zach Henson in 16th, Brian Oshinska back in 17th. Richie Joplin finally gets by and leads that time by. Evan Drake may have been in the wall there. Whoa, we've got another car getting loose. It was Sanchez. Sanchez, after getting loose a moment ago, has drifted back to 10th. He had a big charge early on. Will we see him make his way back toward the front? Meanwhile, Gus Moody currently in 5th, after now back in 6th. Gus started at 15th, up 9 spots so far. Evan Drake, who's moved up into 3rd, up 10 spots now. And Richie Joplin continues to lead at the moment. And Evan Drake all night, for the most part, has been running up right on that wall. Looks like, according to the numbers I'm looking at, Evan's a pretty darn good oval racer, but something tells me He's a very good dirt racer as well. Richie Joplin, Jesse Gordon, and now Evan Drake, your top three. Mark Nelson in fourth, Gus Moody now to fifth. Stephen Hendren up into sixth, Stephen Gibson right behind him in seventh. Austin Ruskoff has drifted back to eighth and had a little bobble out of four that time. Troy Downing now in ninth and Kyle Holden up to 10th. Kyle did not qualify, dropped to the tail end at the green. Kyle starting his march toward the front. Double D following him forward so far. Durant up to 12th. Whoa, close one out of Double D there. Evan Drake has finally caught up to the top two. Jesse Gordon sitting in second, Richie in the lead. Evan has had quite a charge so far. The real question is going to be, does he have any tires left to do what needs to be done here? He's backed off Jesse for the moment, but he was right on his bumper as Jesse Gordon reclaims the lead. But out of two, Richie Joplin back to the bottom. And look at the run Drake has. Big run out of turn two. Evan Drake to the lead for the first time. Oh, crap. Great save by Evan Drake. Pushed up just a little bit. Almost got Richie. Manages to hold on to it. Watch this exchange from the blimp. That's that big run. Evan got out of turn two. Hops to the apron into turn three. Comes up. Almost. He may have even touched Richie. Doesn't lift. Keeps his foot in it. I have a feeling Evan's going to be leading before long. Mark Nelson in fourth, and everybody is behind him. The top three have broken away, and the rest of the field is right there. Holy cow! Evan Drake had a huge problem. Oh, Evan had a problem. Out of two, smacks the wall. Man, he managed to save it. Back this up just a hair. We've seen Evan up there riding right on the wall. He just got a little too loose. A great save. Gets it going. He lost a lot of positions. And our first caution of the night is out. Gus Moody, Troy Downing, both involved. We had seen this group battling side by side, often 3 wide. Moody just pushes up, just barely gets into Mark. Mark gets hit from behind. And all three, multiple cars catch a piece. And there you see all 3 of them up top, and Rick Sargent had nowhere to go. And I believe that was Evan that got involved as well. Everybody is coming in, 4 tires and fuel. It appears one of the drivers, I believe Stephen Hendren, has lost connection. Austin Ruskoff wins the race off pit road. Austin, I believe, did no tires. Boy, that's a gutsy call. Richie Joplin, Jesse Gordon, Stephen Gibson, and Kyle Holden, the top 5. Gus Moody in 6th. Dan Tuma now up to 7th. Philip Sanchez in 8th. Zach Henson back in 9th. Double D in 10th. Nicole Creasel still on pit road, as is Evan Drake. Let's see if we can get a word with our new leader, Austin. No! Austin's coming in! Austin coming in at the last minute as lights go on the out on the pace car. Richie Joplin, Jesse Gordon up front. Stephen Gibson, Kyle Holden on the 2nd row. Mark Dantuma, Philip Sanchez on the 3rd, Zach Henson, Donald Durant's on the 4th, Mark Nilsson and Rick Sargent round out your top 10. And since this track is known for a lot of green flag runs, we might want to take this opportunity to get a little loud. So when the green flag flies, I'm going to stop talking. You all at home, crank it up. Listen to all that power. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. Crank it up, y'all. lot of battling going on up front. They were even briefly 3 wide for the lead. Richie pulls back ahead. Stephen Gibson up to third, but here comes Kyle Holden. Mark Dantuma, no! What the heck? And we've got a big wreck on the front stretch. Caution is back out. Mark Nelson involved, Mark Dantuma, Donald Durant, Philip Sanchez, Nicole Creasel, all involved. And let's see what happens. Dantuma up top, the 17 just gets into the back of him. He comes down, clips Durant's. Mark Nelson almost made it through but gets bumped from behind. Nicole Creasel gets to Mark. Couple of guys just barely skate through there. Wow. Hey, good evening, Kevin. Yikes indeed. Brian Oshinska rolls back out. One of the rookies, Gus Moody, in the 84 is up 10 spots into 5th. And look who's in 7th, a name we haven't seen in quite a while, Brian Oshinska. Hey, Brian, it's Doug in the booth. You got me? Brian Oshinska, it's Doug in the booth. You got me? It may appear that Brian having technical difficulties. We actually got to see him last night drive at Talladega in the Mad 133. He got caught up in a late race incident, but man, he had a good run. Lights are out on the pace car. They begin to stack back up. Brian is back on pit road. Looks like he just topped off on fuel. Austin Ruskoff also came in and topped off. Richie Joplin, Jesse Gordon still in the front row. Yeah, it definitely is. Stephen Gibson in third in the Red Bull car. Will he have the Red Bull curse here tonight? Kyle Holden, who didn't qualify, now up into 4th. This is about to get really exciting. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Richie nails the restart. Stephen Gibson slides underneath into second. He and Jesse almost got together. Looks like he had to roll out of it. Now Holden has a run up top. Gibson manages to slot back into fourth, but jumps to the high line in three. Moody's going with him. Richie Joplin dropping to the bottom on the front straightaway. Trying to carry as much speed as possible. Holden down to the bottom for second. Rick Sargent now sneaking his way up into sixth. Dan Tuma in seventh. Ruskoff now into eighth. Zach Henson in ninth. Oshinska in 10th. Mark Nelson still sitting on pit road along with Nicole Kriesel. Mark was kind of turned into a ping pong ball there. Jesse Gordon and now Gus Moody into third. That rookie has been on fire here tonight. Whoa, they're going to go 3 wide for the lead. No, Moody can't get there yet. Out of 2. Jesse Gordon on the attack at the bottom. Let's see if we can get a word with the Mark Nelson to see how he feels. Hey Mark, it's Doug. You got me?
I got you.
You got ping-ponged around there a little bit. How's your noggin?
How's my what?
Your head.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just disappointed because it's never fun to sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else having fun. But, you know, the first wreck, I kept going up the track and I kept getting chased up there, and then finally it got me, and then I just didn't have anywhere to go on that second one.
Well, it was definitely a wild race out there. From what you've seen, though, do you have any predictions for the winner of this one?
Well, anyone in the top 3 sounds good.
How you liking the new rookie out there? Gus Moody is fast.
Yeah, he's also the person that took me out, so I don't like him very much right now.
I'm sure. Well, man, a great run. Hopefully you can get some laps in here tonight, but great job tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
The Mark Nelson, yeah. Not happy with the rookie, but I'm sure he'll get over it quickly. He always does. Kyle Holden now sitting in third. Jesse Gordon in fourth. Stephen Gibson in fifth. Nicole Kriesel is back out on track. Philip Sanchez, Stephen Hendren, and Evan Drake out of the race. Troy Downing has just come back out on track, but he is several laps down. Gus Moody on the high side looking for the lead. Richie has a big run out of 4, slams the door. Now Moody's going to go to the bottom in 1 and 2. Can he keep the position? Richie drops back down, but Moody holds it for the moment. Gus Moody to the lead for the first time here tonight. And Jesse Gordon has gone to pit road. This is unexpected. Looks like a fuel stop. He was only in for a few seconds as Richie Joplin comes back by to the lead. This top two was starting to pull away from third place, Kyle Holden. But with the battling going on for the lead, Holden starting to reel him back in. Gibson back and forth. Now has Dan Tuma on his bumper. Zach Henson in 6th, Rick Sargent in 7th, and Oshinska in 8th. Rick Sargent and Brian Oshinska both having good runs here tonight so far. Mark Dantuma has caught Stephen Gibson and looks underneath. Didn't have the momentum. Out of 4, Willie here in a moment as Oshinska trying to get past Rick. Brian on the bottom, Rick up top. Coming off turn 2, that high line definitely carries a lot of momentum. But if you can carry all the momentum from the bottom to the top without hitting the car above, man, you are flying down the backstretch. Stephen Gibson, Mark Dantuma, and Zach Henson nose to tail now. They are about 2 seconds behind that lead battle. Jesse Gordon is back out on track, but may become lap traffic here in a moment. Kyle Holden, a big run out of turn 4. Gus Moody trying to fight back up top, but it looks like Holden may take second here. And he does. Kyle Holden now to second. Brian Oshinska now in 7th is one of the fastest cars on track at the moment. Actually, last time by, Oshinska was the fastest car as he tries to move his way up to the podium. Oh no! Moody got the wall out of 2. Everybody managing to avoid him. Coming out of turn 2, not the first, or coming out of 4 down the front straightaway. This is not the first time we have seen this incident play out tonight. Holden goes by to take second. He's fine that time. And there you saw Gus just gets loose out of turn 2, hits the right front. Wow, Rick at a close call. That car heavily broke. So now it is just Kyle Holden and Richie Joplin at the front. Mark Dantuma now up to 4th. Brian Oshinska up to 5th. Stephen Gibson now in 3rd, still has Dantuma closing in. Brian about 1.5 seconds back from Dantuma. Richie Joplin still has the lead, but Kyle Holden only a few car lengths back behind. And Holden is closing in. Donald Durantz has made his way into 8th. Rick Sargent now in 7th. Zach Henson in 6th, but Brian Oshinska, biggest mover of the night so far, up 12 spots into 5th. Zach trying to look underneath down the front straightaway. Didn't have the momentum coming off turn 4. Richie Joplin, meanwhile, still out front. But Kyle Holden right on his bumper now. Mark Dantuma has reeled Stephen Gibson back in. Gibson in 3rd, 2.6 seconds back from the leaders. As Holden on the attack looks underneath Richie Joplin down the backstretch. Richie trying to keep him pinned to the bottom so he can't run up the track. Well, this gets tight. Holden takes the lead. Kyle Holden to the lead for the first time tonight. Stephen Gibson gained a little ground while they were side by side, a couple of tenths. Ryan Oshinska and Zach Henson still nose to tail. Rick Sargent a couple car lengths back. Double D back in 8th. Austin Ruskoff in 9th. And Nicole Kriesel in 10th despite technical issues. Jesse Gordon back in 11th. Gus Moody appears to have retired from the race. Heartbreak for Gus. I hope we see him back this coming season. He can certainly wheel one of these cars. Austin Ruskoff is on pit road. They are all now within their pit window. They can go the distance on fuel from here. I expect Kyle Holden and Richie Joplin will stay out and extend that fuel window. Austin has to hope 4 tires and fuel here will get him back up to speed. Most of these drivers have slowed down about a second slower than their fastest lap. Richie Joplin, his fastest lap of 40.13, last time by 41.05. Austin is now back out on track, but he has scored a lap down. Steven Gibson, Steven's coming in. Gibson to pit road, Dan Tuma now to third. Oshinska now in fourth. Rick Sargent on the attack. Rick looking underneath Zach Henson. He's going to take fifth. Rick a big send. Can he complete it coming out of 2? Rick Sargent picks up 2 spots. From 6th to 4th in 1 turn. Can he hold on to it? Mark Dantuma is on his way in. Nicole Kriesel is in. Rick Sargent having one heck of a run here tonight. Steven Gibson rolling off pit road just ahead. Mark Dantuma on his way out. Kyle Holden starting to put some breathing room between him and Richie. Now about 0.6 of a second. Zach Henson shoots it to the bottom. Rick up top trying to hold on to it. And Henson is coming in. And Mark Dantuma in the mix. Now on fresh tires. I expect we'll see him flying by several of these cars that haven't pitted just due to the fresher tires. And there you see, Mark can just drive lower, harder, and faster. And Rick Sargent ducks in. Kyle Holden, Richie Joplin, Brian Oshinska, the top 3. Double D in 4th, and Jesse Gordon in 6th have not been in for their final stops yet. Kyle stays out. Richie stays out. Looks like Oshinska is setting up. Yes, he is coming in. Rick Sargent now on his way back out. As Kyle Holden continues to extend his lead over Richie. The gap now right at 1 second. And the leader is in. Richie's coming with him. Durant staying out for the moment. Stephen Gibson, the highest running car on fresh tires, in 5th. Mark Dantuma not far behind in 6th. Donald Durant and Jesse Gordon, the last two that need to pit. Double D will come by and lead a lap this time by. Great to see Durant leading here at Auto Club. Kyle Holden back out on track, currently 3rd. About 1 second ahead of Stephen Gibson. Mark Dantuma about another second back. Richie Joplin lost a bit of ground as Durant is coming in. Mark Nelson has been back out on track. He is coming back down pit road. Whoa! Jesse Gordon getting out of shape out of turn 4. Jesse Gordon goes to the lead for the first time. No! Jesse led earlier. So Jesse Gordon back to the lead. Kyle Holden currently in 2nd. Stephen Gibson in 3rd. Dantuma in 4th. Richie Joplin in 5th. As we mentioned, he lost some ground on pit road. Richie about 3.9 seconds behind Dantuma. Jesse Gordon did do an unplanned stop earlier on. Looked like on lap 32. Looked like it was a fuel stop only. That is keeping him out here a little bit longer. But Kyle Holden and Stephen Gibson are reeling him in quickly. They're just under 3 seconds behind. Mark Dantuma right behind, about 1.5 seconds back. Richie Joplin about 3.5 seconds back from Dantuma. As Stephen Gibson comes by Holden. Gibson now in 2nd, a close one there. Jesse Gordon's lead continuing to shrink, now just under 2 seconds behind. Due to that little bit of battling, Mark Dantuma has gained a little ground. If they continue battling up ahead, he will close the gap, and Richie Joplin is getting closer to Dantuma. Zach Henson back in 6th, Oshinska in 7th, Rick Surgeon in 8th, Austin Ruskoff in 9th, and Double D in 10th. Troy Downing currently in 11th, Nicole Creasel still on pit road in 12th. Jesse Gordon about to lose the lead comes in. Jesse Gordon in for his final stop at Auto Club. And now the battle is on for the lead between Holden and Gibson. It is allowing Dantuma to close quickly. Holden to the bottom, Gibson up top. Now Gibson crosses to the bottom. Out of 4 has the momentum on his side. Stephen Gibson now has the lead, but Holden tries to get to the high side. Now Gibson goes back up top, Holden down to the bottom. Wow, they are cutting it close, coming off 4. I think they may have been rubbing doors as they came across the line. Kyle getting right up on him. Fortunately, we haven't seen any netcode tonight, because if we had, this battle would turn out completely differently. Holden now has the lead. Dantuma in 3rd, gaining a little bit, but not as much as he would hope. As Stephen Gibson slingshots by, back to the lead. Richie Joplin now just 2 seconds behind Dantuma. He's going to have a little bit of help from Jesse Gordon on 4 fresh Goodyears. Zach Henson in 5th, Brian Oshinska currently in 6th. Rick Surgeon in 7th, Austin Ruskoff in 8th. The battle continues between these top 2. As Troy Downing comes back out. Mark Dantuma in 3rd, gains a little bit of ground here and there, but he's going to have to start gaining a lot more to have a shot at these 2. However, their side-by-side battling is all slowing them down a little bit, but the other impact wearing the tires out quicker. Hey, good evening, Cody Cody. Are we going to see you here shortly for SMR? Kyle Holden has the lead for the moment. Stephen Gibson in second. And they have started pulling away from Dan Tuma in third. The gap now 1.9 seconds. Richie Jomplin in fourth is closing on Dan Tuma. That gap now 1.8 seconds. Zach Henson back in fifth. Last time by, the fastest car on track. Cody, I know I've broadcast you on road courses. Sorry, buddy. Couldn't resist. Holden out front, starting to pull a bit of a gap on Gibson. Dan Tuma in third has Richie Jomplin in fourth, closing in. Zach Henson in fifth. Sorry, Cody, I couldn't resist, buddy. You set it up too good. Brian Oshinska, one heck of a run tonight, in sixth at the moment. After starting in 17th, last night at Talladega was the first time we'd seen Oshinska on track in quite a while. He was having a great run until a late race incident took him out. It's great to see him back in the fight. Three biggest movers of the night. Kyle Holden up out front, started in 11th, up 10 spots. Mark Dan Tuma in third, started in 14th, up 11 spots. And Brian Oshinska in sixth, up 11 spots from 17th. Although Dan Tuma may not have third much longer, Drifty Richie has caught him. Double D also not having a bad night. He started in 16th, up to 10th. Cody, no, I did not see the pace car wreck yet. I heard about it during when they were in practice. Have not had a chance to look yet. And yes, folks, if you missed it, apparently during the NASCAR race today, the pace car wrecked. There's something you don't see every day. So while you go check out YouTube, How to Suck at iRacing on YouTube, later tonight, you might also look that one up. Richie Jomplin is taking third from Dan Tuma. 5 laps to go. He is 2.1 seconds behind Gibson. And last time by, Richie was the fastest car on track, but now Dan Tuma wants his spot back. Whoa, Richie loose out of 2. A couple lap cars on fresher tires also in that battle. Mark Dantuma back into third. Stephen Gibson in second, but he has fallen 1.5 seconds behind Kyle Holden. Holden's lead continuing to grow, now almost 2 seconds over Gibson as he comes down 3 laps to go at Auto Club. And folks, don't forget to come back tonight at 9:30 Eastern. Several of these drivers will be back for the SMR Gen 4 race at Watkins Glen. That ought to be a very exciting race. Mark Dantuma is closing in on Gibson. He is less than a second behind. I think Stephen Gibson used up too much of his tires. 2 laps to go. We may still see a change in the top 3. Jesse Gordon a lap down, but on fresher tires, went by Dantuma. Looks like Mark able to hang on to the draft for a little bit. It gained him a lot of ground. And here we go. White flag is in the air one more time around for Kyle Holden. His lead now 2.5 seconds. Holden did not qualify, started back in 11th. Played it safe early on, and after the last caution, charged up through, took the lead, battled with Richie, and then took off. And here he comes out of turn 4. Kyle Holden is back in victory lane at Auto Club. Stephen Gibson comes home second, and Mark Dantuma pulls off third. And Richie just congratulating Mark, I'm sure. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Dantuma. Mark, that was pretty unusual for an Auto Club race, but definitely an exciting night.
Yeah, it kind of got interesting there on that long green run there at the end, but
how many more laps did you need to get to Gibson? Because we saw how quickly you were closing.
Once Jesse got around me, he kind of pulled me up there. I think in another 3 or 4 laps, I would have been there. I don't know if I could have got around him yet. But
well, it was a heck of a late race charge, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug.
Stephen Gibson comes home in second. Stephen, you and Kyle battling it out for the lead was extremely entertaining, but did you use up too much tires there? Is that why you couldn't hang with him?
Yeah, I think I had pitted a few laps earlier than him, and I kind of went like 75%. Didn't want to burn up my tires, but didn't want to like slow up to save. And he came out in front of me a little bit, caught up to him, and then we just battled. And yeah, I was trying to see if the top would really kind of work like real life. I wasn't even really full throttling around the top, just kind of half throttling it and wait until like a straighten out full throttle. And it worked for a good bit, but I guess in the end it just builds up too much heat in the tire, and iRacing makes it degrade more versus running the inside. So yeah, pretty much I think I just killed it trying running the top too hard for too long.
Well, still a great run. That was one heck of a fun battle to watch, man. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner, Kyle Holden. Kyle, you didn't qualify, and it seemed like the first half of the race you were just toying with them.
Yeah, we were just kind of sitting around, hoping we didn't get involved in any wrecks. I know this place can be a little bit tricky, especially coming out of the corner. If you get on the throttle too much, it'll snap on you and send you right into the wall. So try to be safe, just kind of run around, see who's fast and whatnot, and kind of took it from there.
Well, man, you did an amazing job back in victory lane in an exciting battle with Steven. Man, great job tonight. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun with Steven. We were battling. He had like 7 lap older tires. So as good as he did, he held me off pretty good. It was fun, though.
Well, great job, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Kyle Holden gets the win, but folks, don't forget to come back 9:30 Eastern for some more Cup racing as SMR Gen 4s go to Watkins Glen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Have a great night, y'all.